Charlene McCray.
Buonasera. Benvenuti a Gracie Mansion. Questa è la casa di tutti e siete sempre benvenuti qui. Welcome everyone to Gracie. We're so happy to have you back here again. We are always happy to have you. And I'm delighted to be here to celebrate New York City's wonderful Italian community. Are you having a good time? Ah! So can you please show Alessandra Belloni and I Giuliani di Piazza some appreciation for their wonderful performance? I want you to know they performed at our wedding. They brought these golden magical notes to our wedding day, which was so beautiful. And they've been keeping Italian pride alive in our city through music and dance for decades. And I'm so happy that they're helping us celebrate tonight. And I share their love for all things Italian, which is why I married my favorite Italian. Well, of course, you know that Italy has a rich culture and captivating history, but what Italians are known for is familia and how they take care of those who are closest to them. I witnessed that in Bill's family and in the strong women who raised him. I saw it in Florence at Una Casa a Montughi, a beautiful villa that created a wonderful home setting for children in recovery from mental health challenges. And because of the strength of those connections, which you all have, I want to ask for your help tonight. Shh. You know, we're in the middle of a growing mental health crisis, and no community is immune, because it's part of being human. Am I right? Yeah, it's part of being human, one of those challenges we have. And sadly, mental illness, substance misuse, and addiction touch us all in some way or another. The good news is that we can all boost our mental health literacy. We can all be the first responders for our families and loved ones if we learn the skills to be able to respond appropriately and help our people who are in need. And that's why I encourage everyone here tonight, everyone, to take a free mental health first aid course. I know many of you have probably taken CPR, right? Raise your hand if you've taken CPR. Oh, look at the hands. Okay, well, this is just like CPR. You can save someone's life. You could save someone's life, or you could transform someone's life. And this course is free in New York City. So I encourage you all to take it. Anyone can sign up. You'll learn to recognize the signs of mental illness and addiction and gain the skills to respond appropriately and connect people to the care. You can sign up at nyc.gov/MHFA. So want to say that with me? nyc.gov/MHFA. So will you sign up? Yeah? I hope so. I certainly hope so. It's for our families. Anyone who's struggling can also call 1-888-NYC-WELL at any time to speak with a trained counselor or make an in-person appointment. You can call for yourself or you can call for someone you love. And help is available in more than 200 languages. So can I count on you to spread the word about that number? What's that number? 1-888-NYC-WELL. I didn't hear you. 1-888-NYC-WELL. All right, please share that number with as many people as you can, because you never know when someone's going to need it. So I want to thank you all for committing to be helpers and healers. And now it is my pleasure to introduce the man who traces his roots to Sant'Agata de' Goti and Grazzano. He is admired all throughout southern Italy but nowhere is he more appreciated than in New York City. Please join me in welcoming me, mi amore mio, Piero Figlio Italiani, nostro sindaco, Bill de Blasio.
I think she went into Italian overload there. She got too Italian too quickly. Buonasera. Benvenuti a tutti. Benvenuti alla Casa del Popolo. The house of the people. Gracie Mansion for everyone. This is everyone's house. We are happy to have so many good friends in our house here tonight as we celebrate this culture we love so much. Now, I want to say about our First Lady, she, you know what? For someone who did not have the blessing of being born Italian, she's the most Italian non-Italian I have ever met. So, and I always thank her in any Italian gathering for so passionately agreeing to name our children Chiara and Dante. I thank you, mi amore. I want to say to everyone tonight, we have so much to celebrate as Italian Americans, and it starts right here in this house. Who was the first occupant of this house as Mayor? Fiorello LaGuardia. And wherever I go, I say we do not have to wonder who was the greatest mayor in the history of New York City. I think he'll always be the greatest mayor. Fiorello LaGuardia set the model for everyone else to follow, and we are so proud of that. Now, I'm also proud of the wonderful Italian Americans who serve in my administration. So we have a group of wonderful public servants. I'm going to say the names of the Italian Americans first, and then the other people who are celebrating with the Italian Americans. And I want you to applaud them all. Our Emergency Management Commissioner, Joe Esposito. Our Fire Commissioner, Dan Nigro. Now, this next acknowledgement is for all the Italian women. And as Charlene said, I was brought up by strong Italian women, and I learned that they could do anything. So this woman is not only the president of the School Construction Authority, she is also now simultaneously the commissioner of the Department of Design and Construction, responsible for billions and billions of dollars of construction in New York City, Lorraine Grillo. Our Aging Commissioner, Donna Corrado. Environmental Protection Commissioner, Vinnie Sapienza. Commissioner for the Mayor's Office for People with Disabilities, Victor Calisi. Director of Intergovernmental Affairs, John Paul Lupo. I believe all the Italians are present and accounted for. Now, for the other great public servants, our Oath Commissioner, Fidel Del Valle, Taxi and Limousine Commissioner, Mira Joshi, my Press Secretary, Eric Phillips, and our Director for Special Events, who puts on all these wonderful events, Jesse Sendroff. We thank them all. We are going to hear in a moment from our Consul General of the Italian Republic here in New York, but we have another very special guest, and we're so honored to have her here. She is the ambassador of Italy to the United Nations, Maria Angela Zappia. Let's thank her. And one last acknowledgement. Charlene said it, but I'm going to say it again. The music tonight, a wonderful group that has preserved Italian folk music going back centuries, that keep our heritage alive and vibrant. And yes, in 1994, they played at our wedding, and we will never forget that beautiful moment. I want to thank Alessandra Balloni and I Giullari di Piazza. Now, one thing we can say, my friends, no one has to question how much Italians have shaped New York City, right? This is an Italian city that happened to float across the Atlantic Ocean. And if you're not sure if that's a true statement, go on the Verrazano Bridge, go to LaGuardia Airport. Two Z's, thank you, two Z's. Go all sorts of places where our names and our culture and our history and our cuisine and our art are there for people to see, but most importantly, us, the Italian people, who helped to build this city with our hands, with the hands of our ancestors, and who made it a place that reflected the values of the Italian people, starting with our love for our families and our communities. This is what we have bequeathed to New York City. This is why, with so many other great communities, we have become the greatest city in the world. Now, it is tempting to focus too much on our cuisine, because it is the greatest cuisine in the world. We won, it's over. Everywhere in this country, in any community, they're eating Italian food. It's clear. But we love all people, we love all cuisines, but I want to do something just a little controversial tonight and tell you what I think some of the best are. Because I think, you know, people in public life are scared to offer an opinion between one and another thing or they'll get in trouble. I'm going to tell you this evening, the finest cannoli in New York City are at Pasticceria Bruno in Staten Island. If anyone dares to challenge that statement, you have to buy cannoli from another bakery, bring it here for me to taste, and then I'll tell you if you're right or not. I want you to know, for our wedding, the same wedding, we ordered 250 full-size cannoli from Pasticceria Bruno, and that made it a great wedding, for a lot of other reasons too. The best pizza in New York City, get ready, people. Get ready. Is at Di Fara Pizzeria in Midwood, Brooklyn. All right, wait a minute. How many people have been to Di Fara? Raise your hand. Okay, so a lot of you don't even know yet what you're talking about. I say it with love. I said that with love. Go there and try. Ask for Domenico, you'll see. And I'm going to give a split for the best fresh mozzarella, both in Little Italy in Manhattan, between Di Paolo and Aleva. The judges find both to be the best. Honorable mention to Leone in Brooklyn. And Mama's in Corona, Queens. Okay, I'll give Mike's Deli in the Bronx credit too. I have been there, it's really good. It's really good. It's really good. I'm happy to have gotten in trouble tonight. But I want to tell you one story. I want to tell you one story from my family. This moved me so deeply. I had an amazing aunt, and she was warm, and she was colorful, and she was full of spirit, and she was a great influence on my life, Yola de Blasio, and she lived until just a few years ago. She lived to be 95 years old. Isn't that amazing? And in one of the last years of her life, she was talking about what it meant to go to school here in New York as a child. So we're talking about over 80 years ago, almost 90 years ago, as a child, and to have all the other kids make fun of her because she spoke with an Italian accent. Like my mother, she grew up speaking Italian and speaking Neapolitan dialect before speaking English. And she said kids would make fun of her, and they would taunt her, and they had every possible nasty word for Italians. And she would go home to my grandfather Giovanni, and she would say that all the kids made fun of her, and she felt ashamed. And he said to her, and she was telling me this literally 80 or 90 years later, but it was like it had just happened. She said, my father would say, my grandfather, her father, Giovanni, would say, think about what the Italian people have created in the world. Think about all the glories of Rome, the masterpieces of the Renaissance. Think about the ideas that we now live by that came from Italy. And anyone who makes fun of you, remember a single word, the word fieri, the word for pride. And she told that story, and I felt like I was standing there 80 or 90 years ago and that little girl was being given a reminder by her father of how much we have to be proud for, and we should never back down to anyone. And we, in our family, we believe in something, and I want to urge you to do the same thing. Charlene and I had a pact with each other from the beginning that we needed to show our children where they came from. And not just, I love all the tours that people take to Venice and Rome, but I mean the towns we come from. My grandfather came from Sant'Agata dei Goti, provincia di Benevento. My grandmother from Grassano, provincia di Matera. And we took our children when they were only in high school, we took them to see the towns that were where their ancestors came from, and you could see how much it was changing their lives. To feel that connection to centuries of forebearers who made everything we have today possible. So I urge everyone, it's not always easy, but there is no more rewarding experience than going back to the towns of those who allowed us to be here and to be part of this great country and honoring all they did for us. And my final piece of advice is we are blessed by our ancestors with la lingua più bella del mondo. Again, as mayor of the most diverse city in the world, I respect and honor all cultures, but this is the most beautiful language, isn't it? The Italian language is poetic, doesn't matter what you say. It is melodic and poetic, and we need to protect it and preserve it and teach the next generation. So I urge everyone, pass on that heritage that we are so proud of. Now I want to bring up two people. The first one, he did something that impressed me so much. When he was named to be Consul General to New York from the Italian Republic, he decided that he had to go see my grandfather's hometown in Benevento to be able to come to me and show proper respect for my family. And I thought that was extraordinarily kind and warm of him. And he has been a fantastic Consul General representing his country and building the bond between us, our city and the people of Italy. It's my pleasure to bring to you Consul General Francesco Genuardi.
Buonasera a tutti. Grazie signor Sindaco, grazie First Lady. I think it's a real privilege for us, for the Italian Americans of New York, to be here at Gracie Mansion for such an exceptional night. You know, we Italians, we don't take things for granted, and the fact that every year you open the doors of your residence for all the Italian American community of New York is a powerful symbol of the love and the passion that New York has for Italy and Italians have for New York. So really a big, huge grazie. I take also as an exceptional gesture the possibility to express the gratitude from this stage, but I think it's also a big symbol of this special relation. I think that the relations between Italy and New York are so intense, so passionately intertwined that it's impossible to separate the two things. They are based on an incredible, amazing past, on a fantastic present, but also, I would dare to say, on a terrific future. Because in New York City, we have so many new Italian scientists, startups, things are going on really very well, and we'll have very good and more positive developments. You know, when you walk through the 5 boroughs, as you said, from the cannolis of Staten Island to the pizzas of Brooklyn, to the millions of Italians who every day arrive in Queens through the JFK, to the fantastic Arthur Avenue of the Bronx, and to the greatest building in Manhattan are made by Italian architects, you really feel that this connection is eternal, is very, very strong. And speaking of connection, can I end with a personal note? I really would like to thank personally a lot the mayor of the city of New York, because he was so kind with me when I arrived here that I didn't finish my homework, because I arrived just with the Sant'Agata dei Goti visit. So I felt as a duty, caro sindaco, this last summer to go to Grassano, the hometown of your grandmother. And now, as I told you, I really can say that I am a full Consul General of Italy in your city. Grazie sindaco, viva l'Italia, viva New York!
Now, I have the great joy each year of bringing forward an honoree. And there are so many wonderful Italian Americans in this city. There's a lot of great people to choose from. We look for people who have done something really special and have given back to the community too. I'm going to call her forward in a moment, but I first want to tell you about her. Born in Brooklyn, raised in Staten Island. Isn't that a classic Italian-American thing to do in New York City? Born in Brooklyn, raised in Staten Island. Her family, partly from Naples, partly from Sicily. She brought her talents to a long list of movies. As a noted actress, movies like Summer of Sam and Crash, and as some of the great TV shows made in New York City, including Rescue Me and Blue Bloods. She even knows what it's like to work for the mayor of New York City because she was in the cast of Spin City. And she makes sure to give back to this community and to support our city as an advocate for people with celiac disease. And she stands up for folks with a condition that often hasn't been well understood. But she suffers from this challenge, but she's done so much to help others who have the same reality. So I want you to give a warm, not only a warm reception, a reception con passione, for New York City's own Jennifer Esposito. Now, we honor Jennifer, and before I call her forward to speak, I want to give her a proclamation on behalf of all 8.6 million New Yorkers. I told Jennifer, you always have to look at what the paparazzi are doing and show them the, see? She's learning quickly. Now, this proclamation outlines her extraordinary achievements as an actress and as someone who has worked on behalf of the community. I'm not going to read all of it, but I will read the last line because it's my favorite line. And it says, I, Bill de Blasio, Mayor of the City of New York, do hereby proclaim Thursday, October 4th, 2018, in the City of New York as Jennifer Esposito Day.
That's incredible. I wish I knew it was my day all day. That would have been amazing.
You only get a few hours.
I only get a few hours of my day. Thank you, everyone. Yes, I am Italian. I know a lot of people think I'm Spanish because I've played the role many times. But I am. I'm born and raised partly in Brooklyn and then in Staten Island. And I have to say, I am a celiac, but I did get to enjoy our wonderful food for most of my life. And I have to say, Spumoni Gardens Pizza in Brooklyn is seriously... I always say to friends of mine, if I'm dying, take me there and just drive straight to the hospital because that will be my last meal. I really am so thrilled. Proud to be an Italian, proud to be a New Yorker. You know, when I Googled, characteristics about Italians, it said we love our food, which is true. We're bold, and then could be brassy and all this stuff. And then I Googled what characteristics about a New Yorker, and it said rude and bold, and I was like, wow, I have all of those qualities. But you know what? We're also full of passion, and we're full of love, and I think that's a great combination, and we all have to take a moment and remember that our grandparents and our great-grandparents, they came here to do better for us. And we are here because of them. And I am proud that they came here to do better for me. And we all should have that opportunity. And I'm very blessed to be here to stand and enjoy this wonderful country with all of you. So thank you, and mangia, that's the only Italian I know.
That was good. I love this one. You want to show off your shirt because I'll announce it. I want to say that Jennifer has an important message for us. I saw it. She brought it with her to wear this night, and I urged her to make sure she showed you all. Her shirt says, "Believe Women," and we thank you for that. So, as we conclude the formal program, I want to say that I agree with Jennifer on who we are as people. I agree with Jennifer, the definite honorable mention for Spumoni Gardens. Amazing place. But I also want to say that we really do need to remember the last point she made about our ancestors. It was not easy for them. They confronted every form of challenge here. Every time that we get to appreciate a moment like this, we stand on someone's shoulders. So when we are honoring our heritage, we're first and foremost honoring our parents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, all of those who made it possible. And we never can forget that. Everyone, thank you for all you do for New York City. You make us proud. Buona festa a tutti.